stories untold, adventures so grand. Together we journey through space's expanse. Join the fleet.
And we are live for your Saturday night's edition of Fleetcast. And today I'm joined, as always, with the animated series by the lovely Endy. How has your weekend been, Endy?
My weekend have been great. And how have yours been?
It's very, very hot and very, very sweaty in the UK. So apologies, guys. I'm a bit hot. We are not used to this type of weather. We are not used to it. Yeah, we are not used to this type of weather whatsoever. We have no AC. We just have ice pops and drinks.
Where I have an AC, and I have such an AC that I have a remote control for the blasted thing.
Ooh, fancy pants.
Right?
Yes, but we have nothing like that. I live in a house that's from the 1850s, and you ain't gonna get AC in here.
Well, I have one in my window.
Yeah.
I always stick one there.
Our houses aren't designed for that. Like, I live in a type of house that's called a terrace house. So it's a former mining cottage.
Yep.
So your house is on the path. You can literally step out your house and there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to walk into someone walking by. As my child learns quite often that she needs to just look. But yes, we are live, and I think we are joined by our usual pod people.
Yep.
I think we've got Phoebe, and I think we've got Chris, but Chris seems to be restarting his stream, so I hope he can come back and join us. But yes, so we are here. We are reviewing Season 2, Episode 2, and it's called Bem. Is there any facts or factoids that you want to give for this episode before we start?
Oh, massive for this episode. I guess I'll kind of flip in my notes up to sort of my final pre-episode backed up. We're on the final disc of the animated series.
Yep.
Final. It hurts, but it's a bittersweet moment because we've gotten here and you've gotten a real appreciation for it, and we're going into TOS after
Yes, we are.
Next one is the title, actually. Do you know what a BEM is?
Not at all. This is one of my points. I need to know what a BEM is. I
BEM?
literally have no idea. I was getting more and more frustrated by the second for this episode because I did not know, and it was quite annoying.
Okay. A BEM is a 50s sci-fi term,
right,
similar to LGM.
Right.
It means fried monster.
Right. Okay.
And I don't know if the tiny human plays Pokemon at all.
Sometimes.
Okay. Have you ever heard of a Pokemon called LGM or BGM?
Nope.
The alien Pokemon?
Nope.
Oh, they were in the anime. They've been in Pogo. They've been... I think they were black and white. I think they were. But, yes. So you've got... The term is a fairly well-known one.
Okay.
Production. And it literally stands for Bug-Eyed Monster. And that's where David Gerrold, yes, David Gerrold again, author of The Trouble with Tribbles, More Troubles.
Yeah.
Started this episode.
Because this episode, from when I was doing my own little bit of research, was meant to be in Season 3, but then obviously they condensed the seasons down. It was then meant to be in Season 1, but then they moved it to Season 2.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, it was actually not even going to be in Season 1 because DC Fontana turned it down.
Okay.
Well, bought it and then turned it down. Because this is a script that has every hand in the pot.
Yes, this is one of the points that I wanted to bring up later on. Every single character was in this. We have everyone other than the Catian.
Oh yeah. But no, I'm saying like on the writer's side.
Oh,
too.
the writer's side. Okay, I'm just thinking of like the people that were involved, like the actors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, the characters are also there, but I'm talking behind the scenes.
Okay.
Where it started with David Gerrold.
Right.
Who pitches this script to Roddenberry. Roddenberry says, I like the hook, but it needs some development. So he sends him to Bob Justman. Okay. Well, Justman and Gerald get writing, and this is still when it's TOS Season 3 material. But Justman says, okay, we've got it as far as we can, let's see it. Then producer Fred Frelberg gets involved.
Right.
Singer gets involved. And then finally, when it was time to do it as an animated series episode, Dorothy Fontana, also becomes involved with this script.
Right.
Because she had been helping them write More Tribbles, More Troubles.
Yeah.
And sort of cracked the code for them. Gave him an idea. And then, of course, along comes Gene Roddenberry,
Mm-hmm.
who introduces his favorite plot point into the episode, which keeps recurring throughout the film.
Right.
When it was finally introduced in Star Trek V, he decided it was bad. So, this is an episode where too many hints could very easily have spoiled the plot. But I like the way the Ben character developed over time.
Yeah, I do actually think this is one of the more balanced episodes of the animated series. It very much has a plot, it has the funnies, it has a little bit of science, it has a little bit of action, but it's all in balance, and yeah, I kind of like this episode. I think this is what I did have to watch it twice, just because I was 100% convinced I'd forgotten some, or I'd missed a plot point, but I hadn't actually missed a plot point. But yes, starting this episode, I was 100% convinced I'd missed an episode, because the Ben character just appears, you know. The Enterprise crew are conducting a series of exploratory missions, and obviously they've got the honorary Commander Bem on board, who's been on board for 6 missions, but he's hidden in his quarters for all of them, is suddenly very much interested in going on this specific mission. And you know, he's in the transporter bay, you know, doing all the settings and stuff, and I was a bit confused, because I literally, as soon as he appeared, I was like, have I missed an episode? Have I, like, completely, you know, skipped an episode? And he's there saying he's prepared. I'm going to throw him up now so people can see specifically what he's like.
So everyone can see the picture of Ari Bin Ben.
Yes. But I was 100% convinced that I'd missed an episode, that he'd appeared before. So I kept going back, and I was like, oh, no, he is only just appeared for this episode. And I was getting a bit annoyed at these first sort of 10 minutes, because I was like, okay, so where is he from? What species is he? You know, what
even name their species. I forget it off the top of my head. I actually didn't write it down.
No, I couldn't. That's why I had to kind of watch it, and I was like, okay, so where is he an independent observer from? I was like, I need all these answers, and I was getting really frustrated in the first 5 minutes, because I was like, this episode is going to be absolutely awful. We're not going to know what's going on. You know, it's one of those quick get to the plot instead of them establishing what is actually going on. And I was a little bit annoyed, I'm not going to lie.
I will grant that, and I think that's one of, again, the weaknesses of that half-hour format.
Yes.
But at the same time, I don't mind it, because it allows them to take away from parts of the character that I didn't like in the development of what I was thinking. Because originally, Bem was written to be a practical Joker type character.
Okay. Which you can see in things that we later see. I think they kind of took half the character they wanted to in the trickster type, and then obviously left in a few points that they didn't quite realise that they were. But yes, so we have Bem in the the transporter room, and there's a couple of images that you've grabbed, and I absolutely love this. That we've got the Starfleet officer with the moustache.
Yes,
Absolutely love her.
respect the stage.
I absolutely love her.
I cut down the number of images for this movie, but I had to.
Yes.
Absolutely had to leave in that one because the stash is that way.
It is very much in keeping with the times. With the
Yep.
I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it, but yes. So Bem has put in all the information into the transporter, and he's basically accompanying the party down to the surface. And obviously, we've got Spock, we've got Kirk, we've got Bem, we've got another person who's not named, and we've got Sulu and Scotty, don't we?
Yes.
So
that's actually one picture that I did not that I put into that little so some behind the scenes info for our viewers. We cut down the number of images.
Yes, because we didn't want to break the stream again. Sorry.
Exactly.
Sorry, Phoebe, because you thought it was you and it was us. We decided to put too many images in. Sorry.
Yes. So, it's Scott, Kirk, Sulu, Spock, and Ben being there.
Yes, and some of them end up in the water, which gives us the moment where I was even more confused because I couldn't understand why he could split apart. That's the
whole point of the character.
Yes, which now that you've said that he was meant to be the trickster, I kind of now understand, but I was getting ever so slightly salty because I was like, that makes no sense. But now that I know that type of the character he was meant to be, it makes more sense. But yes, so they all go into the water, and Bem basically splits in two. So his head is still on the surface, while the bottom of him basically pickpockets Spock and Kirk.
Yes, there's a reason I called that image the lousy little pickpocket.
Yes, but
that's what he does.
But he does. He pickpockets the tricorder and the phasers and swaps them over with fakes.
Yes.
I have so many questions. Where did he get the fakes from? Because the transport...
That I don't know.
This is why I was getting annoyed and why this episode scores ever so slightly lower than I normally do. Because I had issues. Because the Replimat at this time wouldn't give them this items because he's not a Starfleet officer. It literally just makes no sense, and it was getting me quite annoyed.
Yes. Honestly, the more we talk about it, the more I'm thinking that I actually scored it too highly. I may want to revise my score.
Well, you can, but I can't. I haven't got an image for it. So
okay.
Because I make the images beforehand, but some magic from behind the scenes. As I've said in the Doctor Who one, if anyone only watches the animated series and you don't watch the Doctor Who reviews, anyone who comes on, they do not know my scores. I know their scores, but they do not know mine. Because I make the images and the bits and bobs all beforehand, so that I can just throw it up onto the screen. And it's done. But if people do want to change their scores, that's fine. I am joking. But yes, Bem is a bit of a crap pickpocket, and I have a lot of issues with the canon in this and the lore in this episode because.
Agreed.
But I can understand why they do it because it was a kids show. It was it wasn't meant to be everything that we make it out to be. It wasn't meant to be that. But yes, so Bem is on the planet, he's accompanying the party, but he starts to interfere in the mission.
Yes, and this is one of the points where I get so annoyed.
Yes.
Because one of the key things that I have realized I hate in Star Trek, and one of the reasons that I dislike the person comes aboard and wreaks havoc episodes, is because so many of these characters should know better.
Yes.
So if this character was breveted to command. Yes, Phoebe, that does not look like those tentacles were headed for the pockets, but about half a second longer they went. But also, he has hands inside his waist. Just think about that.
There is a lot of things in this episode that do not make sense, Phoebe.
Right.
So many things.
But one thing about the character that I do like is actually the way that Doohan presents it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For all that there are problems with the Ben character, I like the way that Doohan presents it.
Yeah.
The voice that is slightly correct, but slightly not, and the use of this one, and the Nexus is now.
Yeah.
Make him sound a little bit out of phase with everything that we're used to.
Yeah, that was one of the points that I kind of got a bit like, and the fact he was using the word Nexus, and I was like, So I now have a personal headcanon that he's met Elorians at some point. That's my personal headcanon, and yeah, I
Okay.
that's my personal headcanon. If I am not going to get answers to some of my questions, I am just going to start making my own headcanon.
Hey, I have no problem with it. Or at least some part of them has met the Elorians.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
I
right?
kind of feel like he's a Frankenstein's monster.
A little bit. Because he does mention this unity later.
Yeah.
But we cut back to the bridge after they're on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of my favorite moments. And I like it. I like this one, and I like the other bridge scene.
Yeah.
A lot, because it shows Uhura in a command role.
Yep. My girl, she's there.
And again, this is one of those times where I wish I could have had all the images that I'm used to having.
I made him delete some. I restricted him.
Yes, you did. But as we encounter an aborigine on the surface, aborigine here really meaning a lizard person.
Yeah, I have a little bit of issue with this term.
Well,
I know it's the 70s, and I know why they've done it. I don't know. I have a bit of an issue with the term, and I don't know why. I feel like it rubs me the wrong way ever so slightly, and I don't know.
I know how you feel.
Yeah, but I'll chuck the image up though. Oh no, that's not the right one. Got the wrong image. 2 seconds.
Andy has been put on a picture timeout. Yes.
He's put on the timeout step.
Yep.
There we go. Becca's got the right image now. There we go.
There we go. But yes, honestly, I do. Okay, as you said, in the 70s, we had, the terms were slightly different. You probably call them natives now.
Yeah. Planet natives. That's why I think the term should be used. But I do understand why they've done it. And I'm one of these people that can look back on a program and see it for its time. I don't necessarily agree with it. There are a lot of red flags. I still don't know where I've put my flags, but I will find them one day.
Yeah. But I am.
Yeah.
I will also say that I have no problem with them using the term because they don't mean it politically. So I don't mind it as much.
Yeah. It's just I think it's definitely one of those things that you look at it from now to here, then to now. If they did the series now, it wouldn't be.
They would have used different words.
A lot of the series would be very, very different. It would be a little bit more like Lower Decks, which is still amazing. It would be it would be different. But this is what we're actually finding. Me and Ben have been talking about this as we do Doctor Who episodes, and that how we see things, even from like episodes that were 10 years ago, how different terms are used and how television is very, very different.
Oh, very much so.
But yes, so obviously, sorry, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent there. The bridge crew, I do like the bridge scenes on this. They are very, very well done in the fact that Uhura gets to lead and she is very much in charge, and the fact that the men on the bridge respect that, and even Scotty was like, okay, yes.
Well, yeah, that's actually the moment that I love later, when Uhura is in command, because the thing is, in that moment, Uhura is in and Scotty, who technically outranks her and could order her to say, nope, we're searching for Captain Kirk, because she's in command, he defers to her.
Yeah, and you know, I think I like that. I like the fact that they've done that, because they didn't necessarily need to, because they didn't do it often in the main, in obviously the original series. But I do think the animated series it's just amazing for the fact that they show that. Yes. And
I think also there's one big thing that we're kind of getting here. After the Lorelei segment,
yes,
where we started to see that development into sort of that more independent character.
Yes.
You know, we're starting to see that, and in many ways, oddly enough, this is leading up to something from Next Generation, because I don't think it's a secret that we're going to be doing something with Sub Rosa. So.
No, it's not a secret, because I'm actually giggling to myself, because one of the comments is basically Chris is struggling to type, and he's put, sorry, hands had candle wax on, couldn't type. It's because here's a candle for this episode. For anyone who isn't prepared for this episode, I would bring wine, your drink of choice. Or, you know, you could or you could bring your Bish Bash Bosh Real Good Nosh for it, because it's definitely going to be one of those episodes, because I'm not sure if Chris is going to be appearing for the episode before, because obviously we're doing 2 episodes that night, so we're going to be doing the next review of the animated series, and then we're going to be doing the Ghost episode review. So Chris needs to let us know if he's going to be there for both episodes, or whether he's going to be there just for the Ghost review episode.
Yes, and I will get the 30 images together.
Yes, I need to work out how I'm gonna. I need to work out how I'm gonna do this, because if I have 30 images on the file, it's gonna go wrong. So we might have to have like a 15-minute comfort break in between the 2 episodes. Yes, but going back to this episode.
Going back to that,
yes, the bridge. Let's go.
What I was commenting is that I feel like her taking command kind of almost leads into Deanna later taking a more command.
Yes.
In late season 7. Now, also, I love this non-network sensory stasis. Say that one 3 times. Right?
I'm not even going to try.
Exactly. But Kirk uses yellow alert again. Yay. Not red alert.
They are getting better at these alert systems. It's like it's almost like they actually understand the lore now.
I have said this is the series where continuity begins.
Yes, right? maybe they're finally understanding.
Maybe they get it, and then of course in '87, it all goes back to hell because Riker just loves shields up, red alert.
That's okay. We forgive the beard.
Exactly. Because it's the beard that's in control, no.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But yes, so Uhura basically orders that Scotty and Sulu are brought back to the bridge, even though Scotty has a moment where he argues ever so slightly. He finally agrees, and They are both they're both brought back to the ship, and we find that Bem has got himself into a bit of bother, shall we say.
Well, yes. Bem has lost his head in a crisis.
Yes.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. I know the hint, man. I've got it here. I've just got to find the image.
Yes. And as Kirk and Spock are reporting that Bem is having trouble, they find out, oops, no communicators. No phasers.
Yes.
Who swapped them? Oh,
yes.
Wait. We know who swiped them, the little green booger.
Yes. And obviously we've got Kirk, who is trying to uphold the Prime Directive because they've discovered,
yes.
Obviously the planet has native creatures on board. So he's trying to,
yes.
Bless him. To be fair, I actually really like Kirk in this episode because he's trying to uphold the Prime Directive. He's, he's trying to do a lot of things. My boy for this episode is trying to do a lot of things. He
really is. He really is. He's being an ambassador with Bem.
Yeah.
He's trying to uphold the directive. He's trying to be a good captain. He's doing the thing.
Yeah,
that makes him Captain Kirk Select.
Yeah, I'm actually not. I'm not too mad at him in this episode because he is trying to do all the things. And he doesn't really get far. He's really struggling. They've lost their phasers, they've lost their communicators, and it just kind of goes all a bit wrong in this moment. Obviously, it's hard to explain unless you've watched this episode just how 5 minutes can kind of change everything, because you've got Bem then who's sort of captured, and then you've got Bem who's then captured. But these creatures, I kind of want to discuss them ever so slightly because they remind me of another alien that we see, the Slitheen. Okay. They remind me of the Slitheen. Is it the Slitheen? Am I even on the right series? Am I even on the right series?
I think that's,
Is that Doctor Who or is that just Star Trek?
I was thinking more. I think that's
Slitheen is Doctor Who. I'm in the wrong genre, man.
I was about to say, is that Doctor Who or is that
It's Doctor Who. I'm trying to think. What's the series?
Or is that Journey to the Center of the Earth? Oh, the Gorn.
That's it, the Gore. That's it. That's who I'm thinking. The Gore. The Slitheen are totally a wrong series. They are Doctor Who, but yes, I am thinking of the Gore, and they very much do look like them.
Yes. They do kind of look like Gorn or Proto-Gorn. Yeah. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, I do like the fact that they do look very not as developed. They do look like how they look like basically if we had cavemen who were lizards, basically. And I like
they're in a cave.
Yes.
But I want to kind of pause again and mention the cinematography. When we pan across to the village.
Yes.
Didn't need to.
They didn't need to, but they did. But the thing is, though, I think even when we've gone through the jungle scene, that we've not seen that, and we've not seen that kind of imagery. I actually think this is some of the prettiest imagery that they've done so far, other than the episode where they get lost in that bubble. Yeah.
But this one, I mean, I love the way that the village exists, and we kind of pan across to it. We get a space from it,
Yes.
Like, we know where they are. We know that Kirk and Spock are on a promontory above the village. We know that if we look out that way, that's where it is. And the jungle is behind us. We get a real sense of place.
Yes, but I need to just bring up the comments that are in the that are in our comments at the moment. First, Officer Log, this new Casilla has me looking at drop dead gorgeous. Maybe Chapel will notice me now. Is it against the Prime Directive to look at this sleigh? You guys, my little pod people, are amazing, and you crack me up because I'm here. I wouldn't have had to. I wouldn't have been able to carry on if I hadn't shared how brilliant some of these comments are.
Those are beautiful.
You guys. And the fact that you guys brought up Chapel and Spock shipping and not me. Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you.
We love you for
Thank you.
We love you for it. Now, and then we get to what I consider to be one of the most annoying scenes in the episode, where Ben complains about being rescued.
Yes.
Okay, you should never have to say, "Shut up, we're rescuing you."
Yes. And
I promise you, if there is any time that I have to rescue you, do not make me say, "Shut up, I'm rescuing you."
yes, but
Or I will not be rescued.
But we do get my favourite ever moment, and I don't know if it's Spock saying it to Kirk or Kirk saying it to Spock, is how come we always end up like this? And
we always end up like this.
Truly. Yep. This moment is possibly my favourite.
It was actually Kirk saying it to Spock, and there's a reason I screenshotted that. There's a reason I
just love it. Seriously, it's one of my favourite. It's my favourite moment, other than I don't know if Scotty's already mentioned the Loch Ness monster or not, but it's just brilliant, and I was just like, I love it.
Yes, and Spock says, it's. I hope that's rhetorical, or else it is fate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Kirk, mind you, I want you to understand, with no one around at all, except the three of them, Kirk suggests a Vulcan nerve pinch on natives of a planet that he doesn't know anything about.
Yes. He did go from 0 to 10 in about a second in this moment. But
and I love this, and I love Spock's retort to that too, possibly even better. Captain, I am only a Vulcan.
Yes, I really do think this episode shows such. It's the most. I want to say this is the most Kirk and Spock ship episode ever, because I really do just love the bromance between them. It actually shows things that have been missing that I've not seen in the episodes that I've seen of the the original series or the animated series, and I really, really like this about them. But obviously, we then get the entity speaking to them, and can I just say this scene is just fantastic with what they do with this voice, this discombobulated voice that just comes from nowhere.
With the overlay that they do, and Nichelle just giving us the absolutely most pissed off performance of her.
I didn't actually recognise it was her voice. It wasn't until I looked at the wiki entry that I realised that it was.
Yep. I immediately, because it was like, wait a minute, she was pissed before. Wait, is Uhura pissed off at them again? Why? Oh, good reason why.
Yes.
And then we get the line that everyone has been.
Yes.
The line that this episode is famous for. That is introduced to the canon so much that it's used in the presentation of Star Trek the Motion Picture and then Star Trek 6.
Yes, this is the moment
James.
You keep breaking up, but go on.
Go for it. No, I'm waiting for you. Go ahead.
He goes, I'm James Tiberius Kirk, and I just love the fact that they have finally given the an actual word, because
exactly. Yes.
I didn't live I wasn't born when this originally came out, so I cannot imagine what people used to put there instead of Tiberius. I really want to look. I did go and see if there was anything that people had put there previously, because I thought I wanted to know. I thought it was interesting, because that's me. I like a little bit of a rabbit hole. But yes, this.
It was a great moment and a necessary move in a lot of ways. But when he says that he was there to classify and understand the planet.
Well, he says test, didn't he? And then obviously the voice gets a bit pissed at him for using, "You will not test my children."
Exactly. It's like,
Exactly.
classify? Test?
Yes.
You will not test my children. And you're right, maybe I missed right?
Yes.
Like, you can kind of feel that moment of, oh boy.
Yes, and then obviously,
Shouldn't have said that.
then they kind of get the chance to leave, and
Yes.
then
By the way,
get recaptured.
well, they get recaptured because they go back for Ben.
Yes.
But when Kirk suggests that he should have been a librarian, Spock, of course, says that it would be less dangerous. Can I tell you, as a former librarian, no, it is not. Believe me, I have had barbarians in my life.
Oh dear. But yes,
Yeah.
so
I have had.
So yes, so they kind of go back. They go back for Bem, then get captured. Bem then escapes, leaving them. Which, what? Even then, I was like, why? Why is he kind of? Why has he left them? Why has he done this? He's meant to be observing them, but he's then left them. And I love the photo that you've got for this, and you've got the little smiling jerk. Yeah, you know that's the only way that you can do it.
The most comfortable place, but you know, I love that when we go back to the bridge again, and Scotty is now in command.
Yes.
Alex basically gives him a maybe about whether they can beam down or not. And it's kind of that same Star Trek 4 style moment of, I trust your theories better than other people's facts.
Mm-hmm.
So Scott beams down on Eric's maybe.
Yeah.
Which I like.
Yes.
But so we've got the tech solution from Spock, and then we've got Ben, who starts talking about this unity must be broken.
Yes.
And, you know, how he does get that he is messed up.
Yeah, he does.
This
is why I kind of like the character, because we do get to see that he knows he's messed up. That he accepts that he's messed up, and he accepts the consequences, and the consequences in this case are him breaking apart. And I really love I love the fact that this voice says, no, how will you learn? How will I learn? And she kind of makes him stay together. I really, really like that.
When Kirk mentions the Prime Directive, and the entity and Kirk start to get on a wavelength, there are two lines from Michelle that sound so much better in her voice than they will in mine. But the two big lessons: errors demand recognition so that they will not be repeated.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, you know, any of you who have kids, tell me that's not a lesson you're trying to get into them, right?
I oh, so much.
And then the next one. What is punishment? Revenge? Intelligent beings need no revenge. Punishment is necessary only when learning cannot occur.
Yeah. This is why I kind of find this episode quite deep, because they are pushing quite a lot of life lessons, and for the fact that this was a kids television program, they are pushing these life lessons on kids. There's been 3 in this episode. Oh my god. They were trying to teach the kids.
Right.
what's that all about? But
Right.
yes, but we have Bem, and
Back in the 70s.
back in the 70s, what's that all about? But he gets it, and we've obviously the last image I'll chuck up, where we've got Mustache Man, we've got Bem, and we've obviously got the rest of the crew. They're all there, and then
And then we go back to the ship, where we always end up, and it's Kirk quarantines the planet, leaving it to the Entity.
yes,
And I like that conclusion. The idea of, okay, we can't stop the Entity and we don't want to.
mm-hmm.
But obviously Kirk could have done something if he thought the Entity was malevolent.
Yeah.
So it kind of plays back to TOS episode. This is another issue of you having never seen TOS. But you've heard about episodes. You've heard about it.
Yeah.
So you know about Val from the Apple.
Yeah.
You've heard about computers and things you've heard about.
Yeah. I actually, a lot of people were comparing this. When I did a little bit of research, a lot of people were comparing this episode to a Next Generation episode called Justice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
More people were comparing it to that episode, which isn't a bad thing.
Yes.
I didn't actually feel, this is one of the few episodes that I haven't actually felt dissatisfied with how it ended. I actually felt it was a solid ending. I actually felt satisfied with this episode and how it ended.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I loved how it ended. Yeah, I'm not going to change this one.
Yeah,
but,
okay. So do you want to put the score up now?
Well, actually, I want to comment one last thing before we do score.
Okay.
Given how many hands went into the writing of this, I'm glad that we got the point.
Yeah.
Because we've got, Gerald's idea of an interlope and a practical jokes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Justman and Fontana and Singer and Frelberger putting in ideas about the awakening planet, the native life form, and so on. We've got Roddenberry's God, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
And it's just, we've got all these ideas coming in, and I am so glad that somebody at Filmation realized the ability, the ability they had to make it happen, and handed it off to Sutherland and his group, and let them film.
Yeah.
So I am glad in many ways, I am glad that this is a child of many things.
Yeah.
So yes, scores. Ladies first.
Okay, so my score, because actually it's not normally me who gives a score, it's normally the person who else is on this episode with me. So my score is actually 3. I thought this was quite a rounded episode. I enjoyed pretty much all the aspects of it. And the score for this episode is Bem's. 3 Bems out of 5, because how else could I score this episode other than Bem? Because despite my misgivings in the first 5 minutes, Chris guessed it. Chris is on my wavelength now, so he started to he started to understand my scoring system. He understands it.
And same here, yeah.
Yes.
So he got it right. My score is also 3 Bems out of 5.
Yes, but yes. I very much feel like this episode, despite starting rough, it was a good episode. There are things that I would change, sort of some of the word usage, some of the random plot points that don't kind of have an end. But it was a solid episode. So this was a solid episode, and yeah, it's one that I probably wouldn't watch again. It's not one of the great episodes, but it's one of those run-of-the-mill solid episodes.
Yes, it is definitely. I think it is more notable because it is part of the animated series. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where, like, yesteryear, Pirates of Orion, Counterclock Incident, More Troubles, would be notable regardless of whether they were live action. This one is only notable because of it being part of this.
Yes, and I'm really hoping that this podcast that we do, eventually people start noticing the animated series a lot more, because I really do love this. I have really enjoyed this little journey that I've got, but I did something. Well, actually, I didn't do something different. I got the newest fleet communication champion to do something, because he decided, in his wisdom, to do a caption competition. We chucked it up to the community. And we asked them to come back with their funniest captions for it. So it's basically the image for this episode. If you haven't seen it, it's going to be on the screen now. And I was asked to pick a winner. Well, I didn't say I just chose that I was going to pick a winner, but I had to pick a winner from one of our pod people, because what they put as the caption had me in absolute stitches for a good 20 minutes. So they turned around and said to me, oh, I've lost the screen. There we go. Are we back on my screen? Yes, we're back on my screen. They basically said, I would rather see the execution of the entire crew than hand you my life belt. Trademark Ensign. Yes. Because for anyone who doesn't know, I have an obsession with the life belts from the animated series. And the
life belts were such a great idea.
This obsession has now become an obsession for my crew on Atlantis, to the point that we have a little bit of a session using Star Trek Adventures, and it has now become a quest among my crew to create this item in the Enterprise era.
Yes, the new Telluride engineer is going to build a life belt.
So somehow this is now a quest for my crew to build this life belt. Mm-hmm. But yes, so this was the winner for this week. There will be a couple coming out over the next couple of days for different things, but
also, does the Mary Rose have a box of life belts forgotten somewhere?
It doesn't, but I am actually going to arrange that. You've now given me ideas. Cam, can we write that story, please? Please.
Cam, there's a hidden. It's a cargo container in the back of cargo bay 2.
Oh my goodness! I've realised something. I've got Cassie, who's from that era.
She'll know how to.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
And
okay.
I agree. Stand by your life belt.
Yes. The crew of SS Mary Rose is not going to know what's hit them. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. And it's all right for Cam. It's okay for Cam, because Cam's going off on hollybobs. You know, she's leaving me unsupervised for a week. But yes. So moving on, I've got a bit of a quest for some people. So we are called Fleetcast, but we don't have an image for Fleetcast. So I am throwing it out to the fleet to create an image for Fleetcast. It can be, you can use the word, you can create us an image, you can do it for the variants of the different ones that we've got. You know, we've got our interviews, we've got our reviews of Star Trek, we've got our reviews of Doctor Who. I would like an image.
You can have image, please.
Yes, can we have an image, please? But we would like it designed from the community, because that's the reason why we are here. So I'm going to be doing a news item, but I wanted it because it was going to be for Fleetcast to be put out on Fleetcast first. But yes, we would like to design a winner. But I will make a deal. Whoever's winning design gets picked, I will create them a t-shirt, or I will create them a cup with that image. I will get it sent out to you guys. I would like it for I would like it for Obsidian Day, but that is pushing my luck because it's a week away. If you guys don't know, Obsidian Day is next weekend. I am very excited. We have lots and lots going on. Let's see, let me have a think off my top of my head. We have some open slots on the Saturday. We have Star Trek Adventures with Cypher. On the Saturday, it is the Next Generation. Then we have 3 hours of Fleetcast, as well as Dulac playing Star Trek Online. So if you've got a Star Trek Online account, go play. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. He's going to run some events or something on it. Then we have a watch-along of Star Trek New Frontier. Is that what it's called? 2 seconds.
I thought there was a Power Rangers one.
That's a different day. That's a different day.
That's different. Yeah.
I've forgotten my own schedule.
Tells you how.
Let's bring it up.
There's a channel for Obsidian Day 2023.
Yes, there isn't going to be one until later in the week because I'm busy person with summer holidays. But yes, so we have Star Trek Adventures with Cypher, Fleetcast with me and you guys. We have Star Trek Online with Dulac. We have Star Trek First Frontier Watch Along, which for anyone who I've lost me on the screen. There we go. For anyone who doesn't know, it's a fan-made film that I've found on YouTube. So I thought we could probably give it a watch along and just discuss it as we're going. And then on the Sunday, because things have changed ever so slightly since we originally put it out, there is a putt-pucky tournament, which is basically the golf on... Oh, I hate it when it does that. There we go. There is a golf tournament on the Sunday, and then there is a Star Trek watch along, which is SPD, which is one of the best series of Star Trek. We're going to watch the first 2 episodes. Then we have the Enterprise Star Trek Adventures with Cypher, which should be good because there's a few of us that have signed up to that one on the Sunday. And then there is an hour of Fleetcast with me. Yay! I haven't actually decided what we're going to do yet, but it will be interesting. We'll figure it out.
We can figure it out.
We can figure it out. It's an hour slot. It's fine. And then Cam has a slot where we're going to be, discussing food and drink in Star Trek and how to use it in our writing, which should be good. And then we will have the nominations come out for the winners for Obsidian Day Awards. And then we've got an open slot, but I'm just going to put that as gaming. We can go play a game on Nitro. That should be fun.
Or I've also suggested during any of our open slots, if anybody wants to board game arena, we can just go play once.
Yep. So there's lots of things planned. Obviously, there's still some open slots. I will check out when those open slots are at some point over the next couple of days. But if not, we're just going to use them as community events to play board games and just have some fun. Actually,
I do have a question to Cam. I hope
she might be there.
Well, if not, I'll ask her in the Discord. But I do have a question as to whether Cam has a copy of the Star Trek cookbook.
She does, I think.
Good. Because I used to, but
it might be cocktails. I know she's given me access to one of the books. I think it's the cocktail book.
I would love it.
Sorry, I had to get the last of my drink.
Yeah, you give me a cocktail. As long as it's not too crazy, I can mix one of them.
She says yes, that she does have it by the looks of things.
Excellent. Definitely. Those are great. I used to have a copy of the Star Trek cookbook. Oh, you have Star Trek copy.
Oh, okay.
But I used to have a copy of the Star Trek cookbook, but fire and then flood.
Oh,
I don't remember what I was.
not good. But yes, so we are going up for Obsidian Day, but for this episode, I think that's it until
I think that's it, yeah.
next week. We'll see you then, and bye-bye.
Yep.
Oh, stay lovely, stay lovely, stay logical. Catch you on the flip side.
Live long and prosper.
Bye-bye.
In the vastness of the stars we roam, Obsidian Fleet, our eternal home. With stories untold, adventures so grand, together we journey through space's expanse. Join the fleet where dreams take flight. In the darkness of space we find our light.